is always something we're very, very proud of.
So we're going to give you a quick view of some of the restaurants on the ship. We lovingly refer to the Royal Palace as our elegant restaurant. And to show you...
Let me just say a word about the restaurants. This was one of the innovations that we Disney created. Prior to us getting into the cruise business, most of our other cruise companies had a single dining room. And then you went to the same dining room every night. And if they wanted to change the theme, like if it was international night, all the waiters put on sombreros and serapes, and they would walk through. Oh, it's Mexican night. Da-da. We in turn said, hey, we're going to create 3 unique dining experiences with 3 levels of kind of experience associated with them: an elegant restaurant, a casual restaurant, and then an entertainment restaurant.
That's right. This is Royal Palace is the elegant restaurant, and then. Show you a little bit, talk a little bit about the process here, really quick. But similar to theme park attractions, we come up with a process. We come up with an inspiration board, and maybe those are pictures that sort of give us the inspiration of like what's the look and feel of this restaurant. And then we have concept boards, and then what you see here is a material board, which is where we have reviews with Joe, and we go through and we show what the carpet looks like, what the curtains look like, what the wood finishes look like. With the flooring, the marble, and everything. So we follow a distinct process as we work our way through, and we'll talk a little bit more about the process as well a little bit later, but this is a typical materials board for Royal Palace, and then this is what the entrance looks like in the restaurant. You can see the marble, you can see those are hand-carved, rose inlaid marble designs in the entryway there.
And wait.
I know.
There's dining over there in the corner.
So the funny thing about this picture that we put in here is you never know when a Disney marketing photographer is going to be around to take pictures. So in the lower left there, I was giving a presentation a few months ago and realized, wait a minute, that's me in that lower left-hand corner there.
He's not goofing yet.
That's true. And I was like, wait a minute, when did they take that picture? But I'm having dinner with Ken, who's to my right, Ken Horry, who's a great media designer who did a lot of work for Animator's Palette. But again, this is a very popular restaurant with chandelier, glass slippers. It's really themed with Cinderella, Snow White feel, and so it's a very popular restaurant on the ship.
Yeah, and this is another example of balancing the amount of Disney with the elegance and the storytelling. This isn't a palace per se from one of our films, but the idea was to have enough visual cues and references to our characters that there was no doubt that you were in a Disney experience or that you are in a Disney experience, but in a way that you're going to be in here for in our theme parks. Most people run into a restaurant, maybe in a sit-down restaurant, you'll spend a half hour or so. You're going to be in here well over an hour or so, maybe over multiple nights. So we really have to think about that level of experience and the level of discovery too. As Bob was pointing out, there's all kinds of discoveries on these ships, and that's kind of fun for us to the board you saw there that had all the various materials and things on it. Understanding the balance of things and just how much of the little Disney elements, where we put them, and how often they show up is really a fun thing for us to think about.
It's on to you.
The Enchanted Garden. So as I said, we have Elegant Restaurant, which you just saw. Then we have our Casual Restaurant. On the Magical Wonder, we have Parrot Key. And so we wanted to come up with something that, again, had that some kind of nod to nature or tropical thing. Bob. So the Enchanted Garden, this is the rendering. This looks like you're in one of those English greenhouses. And this is probably one of our more, when I say theme park-like venues, because there's a lot of show set kind of work in here. The entire ceiling is done with projection, and when you enter in the evening, you can see it's kind of daylight in its look, and then through the course of the evening, did I just lose it? Through the course, that's exactly the response we got. Through the course of the evening, we changed the lighting. The light fixtures, Currently on the Dream they're not doing this, but on the Fantasy, the light fixtures are going to come to life and change. You see we have the lovely little themed fountain in the center with Minnie on it, and actually we ended up with Mickey on it. That's right. That's the thing. These are just renderings. In fact, let's look. Ah, there it is, the finished product. A little bit about the process. Unlike the theme park, where a lot of the elements are built on site, the way these interiors are built, the shipyard, Mayor Werf, which we were showing you earlier, they build the whole superstructure of the ship, run all the electricity, all the conduit, the plumbing and stuff to each of the big shells of these spaces. And then we have outfitters, they're sub-vendors, who basically have built these interiors off in a factory somewhere. So all the detailing you see here, all the ironwork, you know, the ceiling, those light fixtures, those were all being built simultaneous while you were seeing earlier pictures of the ship inside the shipyard there. And then towards the end, and it's really amazing how quickly it comes together. I mean, literally within a month or so, what was just a bunch of steel-plated walls get covered with all this beautiful finish work, and boom, you have an interior to a gorgeous restaurant.
Animator's Palette is also on the Disney Dream. It will be on the Disney Fantasy. It's got a little bit of a different take than Wonder and the Magic. It has a different look and feel. But again, it takes after sort of the 1940s, 1950s Disney animation studio. Joe's little touch there, putting the little yellow Mickey buttons on the back of the chairs. But it's we refer to this as our entertainment restaurant, and I think the challenge for us on the show was we want to present a show. 700 seats, 700 people eating dinner, and so we have to choreograph a show around dining service. And so it's a little different for us, and I think our team had a great challenge in terms of coming up with a show that flowed without getting in the way of people eating. And so this is, we're going to show you a little bit more later in the presentation about the room. But again, we use pre-visualization, a great tool, so that we can sort of get the look and feel of the room, work with Joe on the woodwork design, the color, the lighting. And then basically this is what it turned out to be opening day.
Did I hear another ooh and ah?
But again, it's a spectacular restaurant. We built a model of this because we had to make sure that we have 130 monitors in the restaurant, and we wanted to make sure that everybody had a decent view of a monitor for the show. And we had to choreograph the show into 9 zones. And so technologically and choreography-wise, I think it was one of the most challenging shows I worked on at Imagineering, just because it was so different. And again, this is the look and feel, the pencil, the paintbrush, the chairs, the carpet, and then we opened with Undersea Magic with Crush. And again, this was, if you're familiar with the show here, again, how do you do an interactive living character animation show for 700 people eating dinner and have Crush spinning around? And so we worked about over 2.5 years on this show just to get it going, and it was a lot of fun. And you can see here with the lighting and everything, the room basically transforms for our guests while they eat dinner. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the new show from Fantasy in just a second here.
Okay, so we Disney always have to reinvent what's already out there and continue to raise the bar. So pretty common on all these cruise ships are slides, some kind of signature slide. Most of the other companies will go to one of these water park manufacturers and get a big fiberglass thing and just shove it up on the upper decks and call it done. Not us. We created the Aqueduct. And for those of you not familiar with the Aqueduct, it is a combination water roller coaster, lazy river, and we've incorporated some features. Those of you who've been to Walt Disney World and been on the Crusher Gusher uses a technology that launches you uphill with water. So the first thing we do, and just a little thrill, as you can see there, we launch you out 140 feet above the surface of the water in a clear acrylic tube. fun. Yeah. And then we send you down a long straightaway, and then you hit your first pressure gusher thingy, and that sends you up. We zip you around. You go through a darkened part of the front funnel, make your way around to what we call the lazy, not so lazy river portion, and then finish you off by sending you back through the dark. And so this is basically like a theme park ride on a ship. What guests don't realize, first off, when you put weight, this much weight on the top of a dynamic moving thing, a ship, that has water in it, you can only imagine the engineering challenges. And like I said earlier, one of my big thrills being an Imagineer is get to work with really smart people who can figure out how to make something like this work. I can draw some cute little drawings, as I did here. This was my rough storyboard for the backstory. Again, we're Disney, you just don't put a slide in, you have to come up with a story. And the story here was Donald's nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They created it. You can see they're working really hard to make this thing. And the first person to give it a test drive, of course, was Uncle Donald. This is the finished storyboard that you get to view in the funnel as you're making your way to the load area. And of course, Huey, Dewey, and Louie were still trying to figure out exactly how to get it right. And of course, they launched poor Donald, and he ended up in the smokestack. That's my drawing.
I saved that.
I know. Okay, here's the danger.
I said, I got to put a date on that. We got to get it to the archives.
The danger of being a man. This was not ever designed for human consumption.